And Christine, a lot of questions, and they finally made up their minds. You said a day-long Zoom meeting by the state regulators, most of it made up 8 hours plus with lots of public comment, mostly in opposition, saying it's time to open up things a lot faster, a lot wider across the entire state. New rules take effect less than 2 weeks, June 15th. They are still subject to administrative review, but at this point, they're very much on the books. Listen to what it all means.
We still have our current emergency standard that goes through October that requires face coverings for everybody.
Cal OSHA approving new safety standards requiring most workers in California keep their mask on even if they're vaccinated, a decision that's not going over well at some indoor offices.
At some point, even being in here just with everybody, we should be able to take off our masks and not have our masks on.
Reaction here from workers at Claremont Escrow as Cal OSHA, the state agency responsible for workplace safety, says the only exemption to removing masks in the workplace is if there is proof every worker is vaccinated.
We'll try to enforce everything the best that Cal OSHA and the health department and the governor tell us to do. We try to follow all the rules. I just don't know. I just wish they would come up with something simple because it confuses all the time because different rules every day.
This latest ruling already causing confusion for some small business owners. Everybody wearing their mask here at Zendejas Mexican restaurant in San Dimas, but there's growing concern now the continued mask mandate unfairly puts all the burden on the employers.
I said, how do you feel about getting vaccinated? I'm not doing it. What am I supposed to do, force them to do it?
Opponents urged Cal OSHA to relax the rules, saying the decision goes against recent guidelines from the CDC and even conflicts with the state's own reopening plan later this month, when most mask requirements will be dropped for all those vaccinated.
And is any other state doing anything like this? Of course not, because it makes absolutely no sense.
Dr. Drew earlier on Fox 11's special report, calling the Cal OSHA decision ridiculous. Here's why.
So why are we going through this exercise of vaccinating everyone, number one? Number two, what is the employer's what is the obligation of the employee to give the employer their information about whether there's a HIPAA violation right there?
And the new ruling requires employers to provide respirators like N95 masks to their workers, who could then use them voluntarily if they're not vaccinated as they work indoors or at large outdoor events. And now live, social distancing also in play here with these new rules. If the workers are not wearing those N95 masks, then they would have to continue to social distance while in the workplace 6 feet apart indoors, and also if they're working at some of those large outdoor events. All of this is confusing to many. It's also upsetting to many. But at one point, state regulators say the bottom line is that every employer must protect its workers at any cost, stressing we are not close enough to herd immunity to back off on some of these standards. One key point here to remember, I said administrative approval. That means Governor Newsom has to sign off on this. Earlier today, the governor is saying he's going to wait and to see what the state regulators came up with, what their decision would be, and then he would make his decision on whether to sign off on it. So again, it's on the books at this point, but with everything in this pandemic and how the state has been going, you just don't know from week to week. For now, we are live here, West LA. Ed Lascos, back to both of you.